Hi, this is Joe again with another review. Instead of doing a movie review, we're going to be discussing a television show. I'm going to be discussing what I feel is the worst sitcom of all time, which is Seinfeld. And I don't know, the life of me, I don't know why in the hell this TV guy picked that show as the greatest sitcom of all time. It is the worst sitcom of all time. For a sitcom to work, it has to be funny. Seinfeld was not funny. Whether it was 8 or 9 years, whatever it was that was on the air, that show was not funny. Do a show, because I could name maybe at least 10 shows, maybe even more than that. As funny as better than Seinfeld. Lucy, I love Lucy. The Honeymooners, All in the Family, The Jeffersons, Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, Perfect Strangers, Home Improvement, Head of the Class, and Walking Back Carter. There's 10 shows right there that, in my opinion, is better than Seinfeld. Of course, other shows like Laverne and Shirley, you had even Brian Miller, you had Different Strokes, it was about Facts of Life. You had all these shows. This is these 13, 14 shows I mentioned right there. In my opinion, it's better than Seinfeld. And I think maybe because of the chemistry between all the characters. But it was never really the number one show, because when it started, the Cosby Show was still on the air. But like the first year or two, the Seinfeld was on there. But I think it really got momentum for an episode that it did called with the Soup Nazi episode. Because everyone was talking about, because there is an actual soup guy in New York City who is a tough business man. And to call this guy, do a parody of him on Seinfeld and call him a Nazi is just inappropriate on so many levels. Because first of all, I'm not sure if the guy is German, number one. That doesn't make much of a difference, but but to call the guy a Nazi, a tough foreign businessman, I mean, it's just wrong on so many levels. But the show Seinfeld was just the worst. I mean, I've seen episodes of trying to get into the series, but the only episode where I thought that was fairly amusing was the episode with the subway episode. You know, the four have their own little adventures in the subway. Of course, Seinfeld goes to a naked guy, and then goes to, lesbian wedding, and Kramer does his thing with the old TV and bang on the horse. And of course, George goes to a job interview and all that. Spain meets a hot woman and thinks trying to do something, and she robs him. And that was kind of amusing because it kind of relates to particularly Elaine storyline. When she's stuck in a stupid train, she's thinking, move this thing, move this car, move this thing, move this train, you're on a track. And when the train finally starts moving, he goes, yay, we're moving, yay, we're moving. And of course the train goes like 5 feet, stops again. And she starts going, oh, son of a beep, beep, beep. And you hear the bleeps. Because if you ever went in the subways, particularly in New York City, which I'm from, and every once in a while you always get up getting stuck in the tunnel. It happens to everybody, because everyone in the subways, in the whole lives like I have, once in a while you always get stuck in the tunnel. So I could relate to Elaine's storyline. Or probably Jerry when he falls asleep in the train and wakes up and sees a naked fat guy. That type of thing, sometimes happens, sometimes doesn't. It happens usually in the middle of the night. But it happens. The only episode that I might like was the boyfriend episode because it has Keith Hernandez in it. And of course, that scene has, of course, the scene with the parody of the JFK, the magic bullet sequence. But those were the only two episodes that I actually kind of liked. The rest of the series was just awful. Like the contest one, pleasuring yourself with masturbating episode. It's just not appropriate to put on television. I don't care what it is. To put that type of a subject matter in a comedy, or a show that's allegedly supposed to be a comedy, it's not appropriate. It's one thing to put some kind of masturbating thing on Law and Order Special Victims Unit, because that's the type of subject matter that's done on that show. But and you can understand that, but to do that in a comedy, it's not funny. It's not a funny topic to mention. But other shows like one of the Poison Envelopes, I mean that's not particularly funny. And the episode that would really bother me, would really tick me off, was the episode where the English Patient episode. The one where Elaine hates a movie. The Oscar-winning film, which turned out eventually to be the Oscar-winning movie, The English Patient, but she's the only one who hates the movie. And everybody else around her, including her date, her friends, her boss, they all love the movie and she hates it. I feel the same way about Seinfeld. I feel like I'm the only one who hates the show, and everybody else, applauds it. It's one of the greatest sitcoms of the 90s. I don't buy that show for a minute. I thought it was annoying. I thought it was, not a funny show. I mean, watch the show. I know that. Isn't that the premise of a comedy? Is to watching it, funny? I mean, I can watch television shows that aired 30 or 40 years ago. I could watch it today, either reruns or a DVD. I could watch it and it's still funny. Like watching All in the Family, which is a 40-year-old show. I could watch the reruns today and it's still funny. Or I can watch, like a previous review I Rocket Back College Season 1 review. I can watch those episodes today and it's still funny. And that's a show back in the 70s. But Seinfeld, like most shows from the 90s up to now, majority of them are not funny. The only shows that comedy that I watched throughout the 90s, which was funny to me, was Home Improvement. Because it was, not only was it good, but it was funny, had a lot of physical comedy in it, and if I still watch it now, it's still funny. But Seinfeld is not funny at all. Just not. Or the scene where, for one of the episodes they had on, there was like the scene with Babu, the Pakistani guy where they mixed it with the mail and got deported. Seinfeld could have easily corrected it, but he decided not to correct it, and the guy got shipped back to Pakistan. But of course, I think Babu's face, well, this thing with his finger is very, very bad. He did that thing with his finger. But even that's not funny. I mean, that half the stuff, or more than half the stuff, that Seinfeld thinks is funny. To me, it's not funny. But I think that Elaine, of all the characters on the show, had the best material. I might mention the Subway one. I might mention the English Patient episode. But going back to the English Patient show, when she goes with her boss, and she's screaming in the movie theater, "I hate this way, just die already, die!" And everybody was like, shut up, and she yells back, "Go to hell!" And I thought that was funny. You can think relate because I've said plenty of movies are bad, and I yell back at the screen, "This movie sucks, this movie is terrible." That's what I feel about Seinfeld. I could watch it maybe not even 5 minutes, I can change the channel if I see the reruns. That's how badly I think of the show. And for a TV guy to praise the show, it's kind of like my rant when I did the review on Bill Durham when ESPN called out the greatest sports movie of all time. And said, why? I do not consider Bill Durham the best sports film of all time. I do not consider Seinfeld the best comedy. And I've been lucky to be in the top 50, in my opinion. I've been lucky to make my top 50 in sitcoms. Because I also made Family Ties. I think that I mentioned which was funny and good. Not only was it a good show, but it was also funny. I could also name let's say Home Improvement, even Tim Allen's newest show now. I consider that funny. Last Man Standing, which is because it's Tim Allen. I watch that show because I like watching him. Before comedy, I like watching him. So I watch him, and I think this show, or Last Man Standing, not as good as Home Improvement was. But to me, it's entertaining enough for me to watch. I can't say that about any comedies today, because they're so bad. They're so lousy. I mean, it's not even funny. I mean, you hear words on sitcoms today that even 20 years ago you couldn't hear. And that's how much the times have changed. You didn't hear the word bitch. You didn't hear that word. You didn't hear the word asshole. You didn't hear, excuse my language, you didn't hear that word. And also the types of topics that you hear today, you didn't even hear on All in the Family. And All in the Family set the trend because you had language, all its racial epithets, more on Archie Bunker than on the Jeffersons. But to have, going back to Seinfeld, which is my topic, to have the stuff that's on Seinfeld, like self-pleasuring yourself, and episode, the contest episode, and that type of stuff is just, not appropriate at all. Television. And for anybody to say this is the greatest sitcom of all time, like TV Guide, I don't know what they're drinking over there, TV Guide. And frankly, I don't care. They must be smoking those flaming little cigarettes to say the Seinfeld is funny. To put that over All in the Family or the Jeffersons or even the Honeymooners, which of course the Honeymooners today is not politically correct today, which I might get to another review some other time. But to put Seinfeld over those shows, you have to be out of your mind, seriously, because Seinfeld is terrible. I mean, what's so funny about it? Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe there's something I'm missing, but the show is not funny at all. Because of the episodes I mentioned, and even the final episode, which seriously, for those who watched the final episode, that's one of the highest rated finales of all time. Whenever they were MASH and Cheers and anything Seinfeld, it's like the top 3. No one could be MASH. I mean, MASH got over 100 million viewers. I think it's still the highest rated television episode of all time. The finale of MASH. How many of you can say that was a funny episode? Or the best episode in the series, the finale? But the highlight for me was that all 4 of them got put into jail. That was the high. I guess they got out of jail enough to do that Super Bowl commercial. They just had last Super Bowl with Seinfeld and Georgia and Newman did that Super Bowl ad. But in terms of a show, it's just I mean, there's not enough curse words in the English language for me to curse out this show. May Jerry Seinfeld's name and memory be obliterated. Thank you for watching my review of Seinfeld. Please, click on the, please like the video, please rate it, please comment, and please subscribe to my channel. And thanks for watching.